Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Weekly Sting. I'm your host, Joe Hutzler, and before we get to our guest, the first guest of the show, as we always do, we remind you about our social media accounts because yet again, we have a very busy weekend. Now, nobody is at home this weekend, but plenty of action on the road, including an NCAA Sweet 16 appearance by women's soccer. And speaking of women's soccer, our first guest plays on that team. Alyssa Kopsidas is here. Alyssa, thank you for coming on the show.
Of course.
Now, let's talk about this weekend first and foremost. Obviously, it's a huge deal for you guys to be in the Sweet 16. What has it been like this week in practice? What have you guys made sure that you focus on heading into a round that you haven't been to in a while, but still the majority of you know what it's like to be here?
Well, first off, we've been trying to get a lot of rest. Coming off of a really big weekend, we've had two really tough games and one going into overtime. So a lot of the starters and stuff have had to rest a lot. But with that in mind, we also need to keep kind of the intensity going forward. So having practices with like really high intensity and a lot of people working really hard is really important to kind of gain momentum going into the weekend, having a whole week off. So.
For you as an individual, when you have those practices where you have to balance that, how tough is it to make sure that you're giving it all you have, but also not wearing yourself out for what you hope to be a two-game weekend?
The coaches are pretty good about it, so kind of giving your all for every drill that you do. You know that if you're doing a really hard drill, you know that something next is going to be maybe more relaxed. So like if we're going hard and we're doing something like a drill we call emery, the next drill be a passing drill kind of. So they're smart about it. It's not like you're going to do something that's going to wear you out too much to the point where you're going to do bad this weekend.
Well, they've had plenty of experience as well amongst themselves. Let's talk about the team makeup. What you guys have gone through this season. Not like there's been extreme ups and downs, but there have been a lot of adversity put on your team. How much of a benefit has that been that you were in close games or you were down, you had to come back, and you've lost some games throughout the season? You don't want to lose, but is there benefit to having that on your resume heading into adverse situations in the tournament? Yeah,
I think that the number one thing for us has been having those games with things like overtime or being down and getting a goal back kind of gave us this mentality this season that like no matter what happens, if the other team scores first, we have the capability to score in the last minute of a game or win it in overtime, even though we're exhausted and even though we've played an entire game, especially 2 games in a row, winning in overtime, stuff like that. So it's kind of given us this edge on other teams that we've been in tough situations and we know how to get out of them and we know we can do it.
Now, soccer obviously takes up a lot of your time, and for good reason. But you do other things in your spare time. I was interested to know that you don't just swim like I swim, because it's hot and you go out and just paddle a little bit. But competitive swimming is in your blood. What was when did you know that was a thing that you could excel at when you were younger?
It was kind of like the neighborhood thing to do, and my mom it took up our summers, so I was swimming at a young age, and it was a lot of fun. And it's a lot different because it's like more of an individual sport. So I mean, it's just a lot of fun. I love the water.
There's nothing wrong with that. When you look at your future, obviously you still got time to really narrow it down. But you've mentioned PT school. You want to be a physical therapist. Do you want to stay here and go to the PT school here?
I don't know. It's definitely an option. I still have a couple years to think about it, but it's really nice going to a school that has that option and has a PT school right across the road. I've been able to tour it and stuff. That's awesome. But keeping options open, looking other places too is also a good idea.
Options are always key for success. When it comes to that being something you want to pursue, what do you get from that when you've been able to be around it, whether it be over there or in your classes here? What has been the thing that's kept you on that path to wanting to be a physical therapist?
I've had to deal with 2 injuries while I've been here, 2 surgeries. So definitely being in and out of the AT clinic and being in and out of PT has kind of kept me in that mindset. And the classes here being so small and teachers being so involved has definitely helped that too.
Now, last thing we usually talk about, or one of the last things we talk about, is things that people don't know about you. You mentioned you were a cheerleader in high school, but Also, apparently people don't know that you can do the worm. Is that like a legit, people don't know you can do that?
I think only certain people, sometimes they do it in the locker room, but you don't get to do that in a normal everyday setting.
It's true, you're not just walking around campus like,
no,
hey,
I don't do
what's
it
up?
through the Dell.
Let's do the worm in the Dell. Yeah, it's certainly not an everyday thing. Well, we wish you the best of luck. I know you're going to travel tonight and you're going to practice tomorrow and, of course, the game on Saturday. But regardless, have a great time and soak it up. And thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
We'll take a short break. When we come back, Kennedy Jakubek is here on the Weekly Sting. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Weekly Sting. I'm Joe Hutzler, and before we get to Miss Jakubek, we're going to ask you this week's Hornet trivia question. Now, it's dealing with basketball, who officially got underway last night with the ladies on the road at Averett, and we ask you, what is the name of the D1 program that men's basketball defeated in an exhibition game earlier this week? The answer coming up in the next segment. But first, we introduce Miss Kennedy Jakubek of women's soccer. Kennedy, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I'm really excited to talk to you about some other things not related to soccer, but let's start with soccer first and talk about the emotion that come with getting through last weekend. Obviously, you take McDaniel to overtime and you're able to win that game, but the game on Sunday, there was this overwhelming feeling, and really in Hornet Nation, when that first goal went in, that it was over. And obviously you guys couldn't feel that way, but maybe there was a sense of we've got them in a position where they hadn't been before. Take me through the emotions of that game itself, and when that first goal goes in to break the ice, what it's like to do that on someone else's turf.
I mean, it was a great feeling, like seeing you whenever we go there. Their fans are they say a lot of stuff to us, but once we knew we just needed to get one goal, and once we got that one goal, it was our game. And we just had to stay strong for the rest of it. And then Cookie got our second goal, and we were like, that was it.
Yeah, right. We talked to her earlier this week, and she said that there was this concerted effort to say, look, one's not enough. We gotta keep going. When does that conversation happen? Obviously, you're very excited and you're hugging each other and everything's great, but how soon do you guys look at each other and say, okay, we got to get another one here?
I mean, usually, like when we have our huddle before the game, we always say just one goal and we have it. And then after the goal, we're like, let's keep this up, keep the energy high. And we ended up getting another one. And we were just like, keep it here. Like, whatever we do, don't let them score again.
The night before, you scored the overtime winner, really just selling out. And Emily even said that at the end of the game, selling out in that moment. Where do you find the extra energy to find it, in overtime? And it's already been a long ODAC weekend the week before, and then you're traveling. How do you get the motivation necessary to basically do a split in the box to get that ball to go in?
I mean, it starts from preseason, us running loops, us running a whole bunch, and knowing like that if we don't win, this will be our last game, and we want to keep it alive and keep our seniors playing. So I mean, it's not hard to find motivation.
True. When it comes down to the tournament and one and done, it's very simple at that point. Now, I want to talk to you about stuff off the soccer field, and one of the things that I just find extremely interesting, and I can't wait to show the pictures of this, but your family has basically lived spent a lot of their time at Disney World.
Yes.
You said 15 times out of the 21 years you've been alive, you've gone to Disney World. Here's my question. How does it not get stale? How do you not want to go somewhere different and experience something else?
I mean, our family, we just love Disney World. Like our basement, we had it covered in Disney stuff. We're actually going to Disney World in January. So I don't know, our family just never gets old. But I think my dad is probably the most excited person to go there, honestly.
Well, a lot of your pictures, he's decked out.
Yeah.
He loves going there and dressing up. Is that a typical wintertime thing for you guys to do?
Yeah, back when I lived in Tennessee, it was like a 10-hour drive, so our parents would just pack us up and we would drive down there and just go spend like Halloween, Christmas, New Year's. We'd always go there for holidays.
Wow. Okay. Well, enjoy when you do go in January. Hopefully, you've got we can do a post-game interview after the championship and like, what's next for you? I'm going to Disney World. Yeah, just like the Super Bowl or something. That's really neat. The other thing I want to talk to you about is just life away from campus. You told me you were lame. You didn't have any hobbies, which I find that very hard to believe. But you do get to go outside and go hiking with your friends and with teammates. Mm-hmm. What has that been like when you came here? They're obviously telling you community and family, and like these are all the things that our program is built off of. But what's it been like knowing and experiencing that and it being true when you came here?
Like, what do you mean?
In terms of the community you have with your team, you know, being told that you have it, but now you have best friends for life. What's that like knowing that you were told the truth when you came here?
I mean, it's really nice. All of us juniors, we actually on Tuesdays have Taco Tuesday. So we rotate whose house we go to and we all make tacos. So, I mean, it's really nice to know that your best friends are on the field and off the field.
What's your favorite type of taco? Like to put on it? Like what do you like to put
Oh,
on
I'm
it?
really basic and I just put cheese on it.
Cheese and meat?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to the taco world. They're the ones that are disappointed. Okay, perfect. Well, we're going to transition to a game. We're going to play the Whisper game. So, you have a set of cards right there, okay? I have my set of cards. We also have some Beats headphones that are noise-canceling headphones, and then music, all right? So what we're gonna do is, I'll go first. I'll let you try to tell me what's going on here. So I'm gonna put these on. I'm gonna play really loud music, and then what's gonna happen is you are going to read whatever that word or words are, and I have to try and guess it.
Okay.
Okay, we have 3 apiece, all right? So go ahead and grab your cards. And I'm gonna put this on. Can't hear anything already. I haven't played the music yet. All right, music's playing. Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. The Pilgrims.
Try again.
The Pilgrims.
Oh, wait. This is Thanksgiving based. I forgot to tell everybody this. This is all Thanksgiving based. Okay, go again.
The Pilgrims.
The pickle chips.
No, Pilgrims.
I have no idea. The
Pilgrims.
Is the first word?
Yes.
Okay.
Pilgrims.
The Pilgrims.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Awesome. Okay. Okay, this is your left.
Okay.
There you go. Can't hear me, can you? Okay. All right. Here we go. Cranberry sauce.
Applesauce?
No, close. Cranberry sauce.
Cranberry sauce?
Yes. Nailed it. Okay, all right.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Apple what?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Try one more time.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Rolling through this. All right. Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie.
It's great because you just yell it. You just yell it so loud. Oh, okay. So I think Kennedy's winning in terms of reaction time.
Oh, goodness.
All right, this is the last one for me.
All right.
Hold on, make sure it's turned up. I don't want to hear anything. Okay.
Crazy Uncle Joe.
What?
Crazy Uncle Joe.
Okay, give me is it 2 words? Or
3.
3 words, okay. Give me the first word.
Crazy.
Raisin.
Crazy.
It's not raisin?
No. Crazy.
I have no idea.
Uncle Joe.
Hold on.
All right.
All right, start over.
Crazy Uncle Joe.
This is awful.
Crazy Uncle Joe.
It looks like Raisin Health Show. It makes no sense. I don't know. That has.
Crazy Uncle Joe.
It says 3 words, right?
It's 3 words.
All right. Go ahead. One more time.
Crazy Uncle Joe.
What's the second word?
Uncle.
Uncle?
Yes.
Okay. So not raisin, obviously.
No. Crazy.
Crazy?
Yes.
Okay. Crazy Uncle
Joe.
Jim.
Joe.
Joe. Crazy Uncle Joe. Jeez, that was so bad. Oh, that's definitely all right. I win for the worst. All right. Pass the stuffing.
Stuffing?
Well, it's part of it. 3 words.
Okay.
Pass the stuffing.
Mashed?
Pass. Pass the stuffing.
Pack?
Close. Okay, first word. Pass. Pass.
Pass the stuffing.
Yes. Oh, gosh. She still did better than me. Hey, give her a round of applause. Kennedy, that was awesome. You did a great job. Thank you so much for being willing to do that, first of all. And good luck this weekend in the NCAA tournament. It should be a good one. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Coach Steve Koudelka is on the road for the Men's Lacrosse Give Day. We'll talk to him and more on the Weekly Sting. And welcome back to this week's edition of the Weekly Sting. Before we get to Coach Steve Koudelka of Lynchburg Men's Lacrosse, let's answer the Hornet Trivia question for this week. And we asked you, of course, in the last segment about the name of the D1 program that men's basketball defeated in an exhibition game this week. And it's the Spartans of Norfolk State, Lynchburg winning 83-80. Now, that game didn't count for Lynchburg, but it did count as a loss for Norfolk State. So got some money and got a W in kind of a weird fashion. So congratulations to the men's team. They'll be on the road this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Now let's talk to Coach Steve Koudelka. I had a chance to do that earlier this afternoon because he is on the road traveling from New York City, then to Baltimore, then tonight to Washington, D.C. to visit with alumni and former players of the men's lacrosse program on their annual Men's Lacrosse Give Day. And here's our conversation from earlier today. Joined now by Coach Steve Koudelka of Men's Lacrosse here on Men's Lacrosse Give Day, who is traveling all over the East Coast visiting alumni and former players. And Coach, I'll begin with that. Why is it important for you to go to them this year?
Well, you know, this is our 4th year doing it. In the first 3 years, we've tried to do a lot of different things on campus, obviously. But you know, this year the idea had come up. I know you had done something similar last year in the Spring Give Day, and it was just kind of to do something different, you know. And there's a lot of people out there that I email back and forth with, I talk a lot with, have great correspondence with, and just due to, you know, time and families and travel, it's just hard for them to get down here, you know, on a consistent basis. So it was just kind of one of those things where it kind of worked out perfectly in our schedule to be able to be hopefully in 3 cities in one day and get a chance to see a lot of alums, say hello, and just catch up with a lot of guys.
Coach, what was the thought behind this being a separate Give Day as opposed to being with the school, and having men's lacrosse have their own day to give back to the program?
Well, I mean, it was something that we started ours 4 years ago, like I said. So this is the fourth fall that we've done this, and really just kind of came up. We had done some fundraisers in the past, and this kind of idea presented itself, and it was like, you know what, this would be great for our guys. Our alumni get into it. It's just it's a really kind of unique week where we can kind of just, everyone kind of starts to reconnect with each other. It's a month after homecoming. We're about a month out of the holidays, so it's just a good time for everybody to connect before the world gets pretty crazy here. And then before you know it, it'll be January and the season will start, and then that's obviously where we probably connect the most with them.
Coach, what are the specific things that your staff is seeking? What does the donations from today specifically go to?
Well, it goes directly into our kind of our budget, obviously, and we can use that in a multitude of ways. Whether it's travel. For some of our we play. One of the things we're fortunate enough is to play a great schedule. Each and every year, and we kind of our alumni understand that there's a part of that costs some money. And it also just goes into some of just the normal operating budget that we're using, whether it's for gear or things like that. We're able to kind of put it aside and allow our student athletes the ability to have some great opportunities, and funding some of the parts of the budget really help that out.
When you look back on the previous years, what's been a surprise, whether it be the money or the amount of donations? What's something that really sticks out to you as something that you weren't expecting?
Well, I think what's been awesome, to me, the most incredible experience about it is the alumni remember their experiences here, and they love Lynchburg College. They, we're fortunate enough they had a great experience here when they played lacrosse here, and so I think they see it as a way to give back. They see it as a way to hopefully allow the program to be a little better than it was when they were here, and I think so. The continuous giving, of participants, and we started. I think the first year we had, maybe 75. The next year we were over 100. Last year we went over 150. We set a goal this year to have over 175, participants in our alumni database, and that goes back from guys who helped start this program in 1980, which was the first year of varsity, to hopefully some of the guys that just graduated last year that are still earning their first paychecks on the job and still trying to make ends meet. So it's great to see. From literally almost the last coming up on 40 years of the program, each and every person trying to connect back to the program on a specific day.
Coach, what do you think that consistent increase in donations and money really says about the program? Because every program goes through up and down years, whether that's wins and losses or even donations given, but you guys have had a consistent increase. What does that say? What does that do for you and your staff when it comes to their thoughts on this day?
Yeah, I mean, I think really just, I think it's something that the college has kind of really started to drive recently, is just the participation rates and the numbers. And so we've kind of tied in with them and kind of tried to speak the same language per se to that. And I think, it's awesome for us. I mean, we have, every week we send out an email to our alums that goes to close to 300 names. And so, and we know we're not hitting everybody, but we're getting as many of those in our database as we possibly can. And I think, like I said before, the biggest thing is we want our alumni to feel connected, not only to lacrosse and what we're doing, whether it's, fall ball or the season coming up, or even the summer, what's going on in our world during the summertime and recruiting and those types of things, but really, back to the college, just continually keep pace with what's going on here. And we feel like we try to do the best job we can. This is not our full-time job of keeping the alumni engaged. I think, our alumni staff and all those folks do an awesome job with that. And I think it just speaks to what's going on. I mean, there's a great energy right now on this campus. The Vision 2020 plan that's out there. We're going to be redoing McWayne, over the summer, and that's going to take a year or so to get acclimated, but that's gonna create another unbelievable experience for our student athletes on this field, on Schellenberger Field, and obviously there's a lot of hopes for other things to happen on our campus as well. So the more we can connect with these folks and keep them engaged in what's going on, we feel like we're doing the right thing, and we're just, like I said, we have a unique platform that guys played this sport here. You know, they cared about it when they were here. Some had better years than others, but at the same time, at the end of the day, they all put the word Lynchburg on their chest. They had an L on their uniform, and that's something that they completely believe in. And so, you know, if it takes us going up to New York City and Baltimore and DC and hanging out for a little bit with those guys, shake hands and give hugs and, you know, tell great stories, and I'm sure they'll all think they're better than they were, but you know, that means the world to me. And to be a part of their life and to be a part of this is everything I dream for, and being a head coach, and so it just gives an opportunity to do that.
Well, Coach, the last thing I'll ask you is, are you looking forward to a specific tourist spot on your travels, a destination maybe in mind?
No, well, you know, I'm fortunate that my wife is actually making the trip with me. So, you know, I think going to New York City would be a lot of fun. And Taylor Stelgen's a 2008 graduate, has kind of helped set up that. On our way to Baltimore, Johnny Black, another classmate of Taylor, a 2008 guy, is going to help set up that spot. And then Jeff Schwartz, who's kind of, you know, 2012 graduate, has kind of helped outline some of the places to be in DC. And so it's going to be just a lot of fun. You know, just kind of like I said, there's going to be some people I haven't seen in a little bit. The nice part about our program, a lot of these guys over the course of the year, whether it's a home game or an away game, do make their way to games, and I get a chance to see a lot of them and say hello to them. Sometimes you don't get as much time to do that, and I think that's when I'm probably look forward to, not maybe necessarily the location of New York City. I've been to all of them. But, you know, to be in one place with those guys in New York City will be a lot of fun. I've never done that in Baltimore or in DC. So I'm probably looking forward, just the camaraderie and hanging out with the guys is probably the thing I'm looking forward to the most.
Coach, safe travels. We wish you the best of luck, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate Coach taking the time out this afternoon to update us as well with the numbers to this point. As when this show was recorded earlier today, the numbers were 51 donors and $5,701 through those 51 donors. So things going pretty well for the men's lacrosse team on this Give Day. But certainly, even when this comes out tonight, you can still donate to the team by getting in touch with Coach Koudelka or Coach Lombardo, any of the guys that are on the staff, and help out them for the things that Coach talked about that they need help for. All right, that's going to do it for us this week. Reminder, we are off next week. It's Thanksgiving next week, so fill your tummies, get some rest, have some stuffing afternoon naps, which I always love the most about breaks on Thanksgiving. But also stay tuned to lynchburgsports.com, because basketball is still in full effect, and maybe even women's soccer headed to the Final Four. So don't get out of the Hornet Nation ways just yet, because we'll still have some things coming down the pipe for you. That's going to do it for us today, though, on the Weekly Sting. We'll see you in 2 weeks, same time and the same place. Remember, it's a great day to be a Hornet, and we are One Nation.